Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 6 of Forging the Cogs of War, streamed live over on Twitch, Mondays at 7:30 p.m. CST. You're now seeing this Wednesday sometime. But in this episode, our group finally gets reunited in the University District. We go and we make inquiries to Professor Korzu, who is the resident gemologist, I believe, or alchemist. And we found out that he most likely had made the gems that Lord Dungaren had been using. Once we arrived, Korzu had us kind of go on like a little bit of a side quest. We had to take care of an invention that had gone rogue. A battle ensued, and two of us in our group had been knocked unconscious. Fortunately, we all survived, and after we had taken care of the invention, we got the address from Korzu. Made a quick pit stop at the hospital because two of our members were hurt, and then we made our way to supposedly Lord Dungaren's house. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, this is a transition. Hi guys, welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. Eberron Forging the Cogs of War. Your boy Stone just gave you a little recap, boy. But
I quit this campaign after that. I quit.
Did you just say Recappa boy?
Yeah,
Kappa boy.
It's like a capybara, but
One of the shittiest superheroes. He just tells you what just happened.
Isn't the capybara literally like the large rat, river rat looking thing, like a beaver?
yeah, they're really cute.
I like them.
There's a big guinea pig.
So,
Yeah.
I wonder if they taste like
As-
guinea pig.
What do you
That
mean?
probably.
What do you mean?
I mean,
have you ever had
Yeah.
guinea pig?
No.
But they do look awfully.
That would be a
tasty.
weird animal
they're
to eat.
probably just white meat, so it probably just tastes like chicken.
They could not. Actually, I guess maybe. I don't know.
I have people who I know who have eaten guinea pig. I could ask them.
Hey,
But-
Ask
how's
them.
your guinea pig doing? Oh,
But unrelated to that, in Eberron, where guinea pigs do not exist, you all have finally reconvened in the university, where there is background music playing.
Oh, is there?
And well,
I don't hear it.
there is now.
Where's this audio?
but it's in Roll20 like it always is.
Did I mute Roll20? Hold on.
Probably.
Hold, please.
You
Okay,
muted
great.
us last time.
Hold. No, it's not muted.
oh yeah. Are we all online?
Well, now you are.
Hey, Hotel X Bravo. Do you hear us? And then no
yeah,
one talks.
I hear us. I hear us.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
hear I don't hear the music coming from the jukebox.
You
I'm just
Hello.
thinking.
I can
does
hear the
anyone
music, so honestly, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
Wait, so you can hear it?
I can hear it too.
Absolutely, yes.
Why
You can hear it
can't
through
I?
the stream.
My master music volume level is at 3/4.
Oh, you know what it is? Aha.
Do you have
Continue.
Right. So, now that the fun aspects of audio are sorted live for your enjoyment,
If it isn't sorted live, it's not real.
yeah. As you guys are standing currently in this like long sort of industrial hallway, like if you've ever been behind the scenes of a museum that's sort of like brightly lit, very wide, solid, smooth floor hallway. Various doors along the sides where the laboratories have taken place. Ranger Rick, Grom, and Edwin are currently entering here after just having a little bit of a hectic day, we shall say.
I got thrown off a skyscraper. What do you mean hectic in quotes?
You guys got thrown off a skyscraper, and Grom had all of his money conned out of him from a gargoyle. But you guys are just now reconvening outside of this laboratory room where Diero and Sam just talked to the individual known only as the professor. So as you guys come out of this room and are Sam, Diero, you turn to see the three of them sort of like sweating, definitely a little bit on edge. They see, oh, it's good to see that you are all right.
Grom,
We thought you might have been dead.
Oh, why did you think that?
Why?
Well, you had a running in.
You had
He
an
like
incident
it.
with the suit, and we also
But-
had an incident with the suit.
The suit.
Oh,
The suit.
he's not a nice guy.
No,
The suit.
The Warforged. The Warforged, Sam.
The Warforged.
Oh, it was really rough.
I don't remember.
No, it's.
Why are you
I
guys
barely-
going after some guy named Suit? We said we'd go to the university.
Sam,
What?
you guys were gone. You disappeared. We woke up the next morning, sit down, have breakfast. It wasn't a stout and a stew, but we sat down to have breakfast, and you guys weren't here. And we were told that you were thrown out. And so we were like, well, we don't know where they are. They could be dead. There's no note. Bed's empty.
But I mean, like me.
Car's
and-
gone. You could have died. You
I
could have
mean,
been seen.
Me and Owl Guy have been here for like, I don't know, like a couple hours at least, and
Yeah.
we all said we'd come to the university. You guys
I
are
mean,
late.
We're
Rick?
supposed to find out more. We found out a lot.
Rick, do you remember this conversation?
Nope.
Grom?
It was when you guys were wondering about.
I was a little bit preoccupied at the time.
You guys act. How'd you guys get here then? If you didn't remember that we said we'd meet at the university.
We went to go find the suit, and the suit lives in the university district, and we got thrown off of the skyscraper building. Side note, we had to cut down the whole building. We're cutting it down.
So
do you mean?
wait, when did we agree on that?
That was highly coincidental, but luckily it happened.
Well, Sam and I were just on our way to the laboratory, I think. Right, Sam?
I mean, yeah, we're off to talk to some other big brain noodle head over
They're
here.
helping us. They're helping us with the questioning of the eye cult, and you know the original reason why. You guys seem pretty hurt though. You guys all right?
We got thrown off a building.
It was most unpleasant.
Oh, I think some.
Yeah,
students
but it was
were
kind of fun
researching-
too.
You're into that, Ranger Rick?
It was kind of fun.
Wait, did you guys have Featherfall tokens?
No.
Nope.
And y'all lived. Well, I'll be
Yep.
damned.
Yep. Some
should
poor
really
old
get
lady's
some.
cabbage cart.
I
Always
believe
the
it was a
cabbages.
bunch of fabrics, actually.
Cabbage, fabrics. Same thing when you're falling it from the sky.
Well, I'm gonna start inching my way towards the lab.
You guys just exited the lab where you had finished speaking with the.
I did not take adequate notes.
Yeah, no, you had just finished speaking with the professor, and you know, I'm actually forgetting exactly what he told you to do myself. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. I thought I wrote it down.
Oh my
Yeah,
lord.
At least. If only we listened to last week's stream.
Man,
So you
fuck
guys
that.
go and watch it.
Oh, you know. Well, we'll catch you guys up. Unless do you guys remember? Oh, we. The crystal that we found.
Oh yeah, you're going to go to you're going to go find Korzu Wilkerin, who is a professor. You said lab, and that confused me. He's a professor, and also a developer of various enchanting magics. Gnomish individual, from the kingdom of Zalargo. But yes, you can head that way if you'd like.
No. Where are the tokens of Featherfall?
Well, I don't know that. Is there
Oh.
a map?
There's
There's students somewhere around here and they sell tokens of Featherfall. I'm buying them all.
So if you exit as you grab, well, I mean, you can go somewhere to try and find it. Are you just gonna look around? You're currently in a fairly empty hallway.
Edwin, if you're looking for things, I know a really nice lady at a front desk that could help us.
You mean a receptionist?
Sure.
administrative assistant.
Yeah, her name's Amanda. Let's go see her.
But
Right.
wait, but what? I point behind us at where this room is that we're supposed to. Should we not just go? We're right here.
Are we right there?
Owl
Did we get
guy.
there?
We're like right
You're-
here.
No, you're right outside of the professor's room. Korzu
Well-
Wilkeren's lab is somewhere in this building, but you're not quite sure where in this.
I thought I heard you say last week that we were close, but I was wrong.
I thought so too, but I think it's best if we just
You-
ask the lady at the front desk.
Sounds like you really just want
honestly
to talk
have
to the lady
no
in the front desk.
memory. It has been too long.
It's been
You,
1 week.
you guys would
Long.
remember that Korzu Wilkeren was in this building. He has a offices, laboratory type place, workshop more so, in this building. But you weren't given, you weren't told exactly where he was. You could search around, walk around the building, and see if you find him.
Yeah, all I have is it's down the hall, and then I tried asking, and then Sam pulled me away because he started talking about the thing, the history of something.
Yeah, he started going into a long-winded speech about the history of the various continents of Eberron.
Well, on our way to Amanda.
Okay, so you guys turn and exit the building, heading back towards the main university hall, located on, that tower that I named last session. Heirloom
so
Obelisk. Heirloom Obelisk. Look, there's a lot of names, but at the Heirloom Obelisk.
The heirloom obelisk? Or would it be heirloom obelisk?
No, the hair loom. It's a loom made of hair.
Yeah, the
This
second
is
one.
very important to me because one is one. They are vastly different things.
So, yes, it's actually heirloom, but because I am a fool, I will continue to say heirloom.
Okay, so I should not be expecting a loom that makes things out of hair.
No, but what you should be expecting is a rather handsome university hall surrounded by gardens and a various amount of students and doing, all sorts of research, social gatherings. You see that there is some sort of sports club that is currently practicing in the lawns behind University Hall. They have a small, like wiffle ball-esque ball that they currently are swinging about, and you watch as they cast various spells towards it, and it's bounced through the air. And there's like a hoop on either side that they're trying to get it into.
Uh-huh.
But as you notice this, and you turning to as Diero is leading you guys into University Hall itself, Sam, you'd pick up on this. There is a desk that's sort of set up like like it's not a folding table. Well, it's a folding table, but it's wooden and not plastic. As you see it set up there, and there's a various amount of students that are dressed in some nicer robes. That the one girl is a elven individual who's sort of got a big smile, and there's a couple of halfling individuals that are unboxing a few things, and they're sitting by. As you're entering this main building, Sam, you see that they are unboxing an assortment of Featherfall tokens.
Do I see them? Do I see this?
With your passive perception, yes, you do. As Sam sort of glances
Okay.
over at this, you.
How much for a Featherfall token?
Yeah, they're 45 gold apiece.
That sounds awfully expensive.
Well, I mean, they're not. They take some time to make. I mean, it takes a couple of us a day or two to make this sort of thing. I mean, we gotta buy supplies too.
Aren't these the ones that the students make?
It is, yeah.
Is there a student discount?
Oh, yeah. Are you a student?
Ah, look, here's my ID. I'm from a different school, all the way back over in. Checks my backstory. Crap. Andar, it's happy
Right.
to be here.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, if you're just go ahead and make a persuasion check. Since you don't yet have your full Morgrave student identification papers.
I'm glad charisma is really well. Okay.
Nice. Oh, yeah, that should be fine. If you're transferring, then, I mean, I know how it is just moving to a new place. But yeah, it's 25 gold pieces for students.
I look back at Edwin. You said you wanted to buy all of them?
Well, I'd rather become a road pancake.
Well,
That's
okay.
the spirit.
Just be careful when you're going into lower districts. A lot of the bridges don't have any sort of enchantments on them there.
Well,
I'll take one though. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. What was your name?
My name's Edwin. Or not Edwin. That's him. I'm Diego. I get nervous.
That's okay. I get kind of nervous sometimes too. She hands you a Featherfall token. She puts it in like a small paper bag and like folds it over and hands it to you.
Sweet. And what was your name?
Oh, you can call me Sarah.
Sarah. Oh.
we are not role playing a relationship. We're pumping the brakes right
We
now.
already know how that goes, Chris. We
I
already know
don't
how
want
that
to listen
goes.
to this.
Not in this campaign. Different character.
You stop that right now.
All right. Goodbye, Sarah.
Oh, okay. Bye. Did you guys walk off? You're now in sort of this main hall, reminiscent of natural history museums, or sort of large open columned space, marbled floors, lots of various tables set up, some more permanent than others, multi-purpose space. You see Amanda over across the way at the desk. She's currently, going through the large notebook before her and flipping a page every once in a while. There's a fair few casts and sparks of magic that come from various. It's just like you have to get used to it. Rick, especially, who's sort of used to looking towards sounds in the forest. There's a lot of sounds happening around you that are all a little strange, just like the or like the strange sounds of gibbering summoned creatures and stuff that pass you by here and there. It is a very strange and unsettling place, even for those of you familiar with the city, just to see magic so flagrantly flaunted.
Isn't it great?
Flaunted.
Every time I
As
stumble
opposed to
on
discreetly
words,
flaunted.
every time I stumble on words, I come up with at least one time where I can have some good alliteration and use some vocab words, and it actually comes out cohesively English.
Cohesively English.
That right there you struggled with.
Hey, we're back at. So, what you guys up to?
Hi, Amanda.
Oh, hey there! It's good to see you. Oh my, you've got yourself some more friends.
Yeah.
Now, are these your friends or are these your friends? She looks over at you, Sam, and sort of glares.
I mean, we're all friends.
I am not friends with him.
Oh, great! Well, then it's a pleasure to meet you.
Damn.
He's a city guard.
Are you interested in being a? Are you a new student?
No.
Right. Okay. So how can I help you, Diero? Did you have your whole talk with? Yep.
Yep. Yeah. I met with the professor and everything, and
Good.
We're actually gonna come and talk to you about Featherfall tokens, but that kind of got solved. They're really expensive, but
They're only 25 gold if you got your student ID.
I give her a thumbs up, and I say, just out of curiosity, to double check, how do you use them?
Oh, well, you don't have to use them; they just happen. If you end up that you're falling at a velocity that'll result in a little bit of discomfort on landing, they just pop off.
The road pancake.
Hell,
That's his method.
you could call it that.
Well, anyways, we're trying to find Korzu's office. Korzu,
Korzu Wilkerin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's currently up in his offices in the main hall here, and she points upward towards the top left of the central spire that has the balconies that overlook. If you just head up through that way. If you want to take the central elevator, you can.
Oh, okay. Any other directions?
Oh, well, if you want to take the stairs, you can just walk around all the way to the 3rd floor and just keep circling around. Is easiest to find it. If you don't know the numbering system, it doesn't make any sense. Just look for his name on the door.
Do you have any jobs that need to be done within this area? For you, for the university, for people in particular?
Well, now, what sort of jobs you asking there, hairy fella?
I didn't ask what type of job. I'm just need people removed, need people found.
My eyes are big, looking at Edwin like, what the?
Edwin, you know this is a school, right?
I don't quite know. I mean, if you wanted to talk to some of the professors, they have various research needs that need fulfilled. I don't have any listings for somebody of your ilk at the time. But if you want to go ahead and go around and talk to some people, there is a professor who is looking for some assistance of looking you up and down of what I think that you're offering. Metrix DeCaneth came through. He's one of the professors here, and he had some need for somebody with a bit more of a persuasive sort of skill set.
Did you say Metrix DeCaneth?
Yes, he's one of the few human professors here.
The one with the Warforge?
Yes, he's credited with creating the Warforged. You're familiar with his work.
Are you gonna go stop by?
I'd look over at Diero. Diero, where do you think we fell from?
We don't know, actually.
Yeah, you never really told us. You just kind of
Metrix DeCaneth Tower.
Oh, that's awkward.
Oh my! If you already went to visit Metric, well then I'm sure you're all familiar with him. I'd go speak with him if you're interested in that sort of work.
Is that on your list now, Edwin?
He has an office here at the university that he is in sometimes, but if you wanted to leave a note there, he might get back to you.
Out of curiosity, do you guys also have like a research facility?
We do have several rooms available for students to rent out for research purposes. But you talking with Moth Richmond, when you set up whatever it is your research focus is going to be here, you'll be able to set that up and have those resources available to you.
Oh, that's so exciting! I can research my cults. Anyways, I'll be heading upstairs.
Oh, all right. Pleasure to be a help to you.
Bye, guys.
Waves.
Does anyone want to join me? It's gonna be to explain the secret diamond that we found.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I've been with you the whole time.
Okay.
Thank you, Sam. Oh, speaking of that, while we're walking, I'm gonna give Grom 20 gold.
Oh, whoa. What is...
I owed you.
I looks at you. I really appreciate this, especially considering the day I've been having.
Just don't...
Grom, it's five gold short of being able to buy a Featherfall token.
He looks at his going on his hand and looks down. I'll find that other 5 somewhere.
Suspicious, Grom.
Well, I mean, I'll just do a... Never mind.
Well, we should be approaching his office soon. If I guess we'll just do a couple circles.
Yeah, as you climb up a big old... The whole vying for the stairs, you go around several... It's just this one huge spiral staircase, the central hall. And as you make your way up onto the first floor, you pass by Moth Richmond's room, which the door is closed currently. Continuing on upward to the second floor, walking past several other open professors going about their business. Some are writing notes, scrawling on walls. You pass another room where there's one currently speaking with a couple of students. with a half dissected thing. You have no idea what it is. It's laying on the table in the middle. And continuing on upward, you pass on the second floor. The rooms here are slightly larger, and one of the rooms has an open window through which you can see a summoning circle that currently has trapped within it some form of demon that is like pounding against the binds of the circle itself, as a few students are currently taking notes on clipboards.
Why not?
I'm a good guy.
Define good.
Helping old ladies cross the street. Hey, Ranger Rick, what do you think of this place? Why are you crying, Ranger Rick?
Yep.
Yep.
The demon that's trapped in the circle just like belches fire that just sort of illuminates the second floor in a sort of otherworldly glow as you continue to walk along. Ranger Rick just like,
Yep.
yeah, as this occurs. Anyway, making your way up to the third floor, it returns once again to much smaller rooms, and there's a lot more of them on this floor. Or at least they appear to be smaller rooms. Doors right next to each other. All of the doors, all of the doors, right next to each other. There's hardly any space between them. And as you make your way around searching for the person you're searching for, wow, that was a great sentence, Daniel.
Nice.
Korzu Wilkeren's name is emblazoned in brass across one of the doors. A simple pine door that is just one solid slab of wood, like a sheet of fucking Luon propped in a door frame.
Who?
Korzu Wilkeren?
Of Luon?
Luon's a type of wood.
I don't know what that is.
It's just
It's
cheap,
type of wood.
flat wood.
Oh. You
And
just
I
said it
do.
like as if we all knew that, and like,
I'm sorry. I work in a carpentry shop. Luon's a common term for me.
Hey, check your privilege.
Or just go to Lowe's.
You just go to Lowe's. Anybody can
Why
walk
would I
into
go-
a Lowe's.
but why would I go to Lowe's and just be like, hey, show me your cheap wood?
Look, if you
Comes
don't go to
back.
Lowe's, if you don't go to Lowe's, look. I don't know what you're going to Lowe's for. Actually, Lowe's is pretty expensive. Menards is a better price.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Menards is far away.
It
Anyways.
depends.
Guys,
So this next segment is sponsored by Home
No,
Depot.
there are no sponsors. Stop making them up.
Every week we're gonna shoot our shot, Chris. All
We're just
right.
gonna shoot it.
yeah, let's get a franchise endorsement from Home Depot.
It's really,
Lowe's.
it's
Oh,
really
Lord.
practical. So as you find this door,
This Luon door.
this Luon-like door with a little brass plaque on it.
Is it a cheap
Right.
brass or is it regular brass or what
It
type of
actually
brass?
looks
are
to
we-
be it looks to be pretty cheap brass. Yeah, like this sort of bright yellow stuff you'd see on an IKEA piece of furniture.
That's a professor's salary.
And make a history check.
For me?
Yeah.
I don't care.
You asked.
Oh no. But just out of curiosity, let's see. No, I'm kidding. Knock knock.
You knock on the door. It has like a very unsatisfying like tick, tick sound. It's
I
just
looked at
not.
Edwin. That's not pine.
Yeah. As the door just sort of like drifts open, like it's not even on a hinge. You see behind it just like stuff all over the ground. There's like sheets of wood scattered in piles. There's like a workbench that's piled high with an assortment of various metal scraps. You see like lights that are currently like flickering back and forth. They're not like, it's not electrical lights, they're magical, but they just aren't stable in their like holdings. So they're like moving and the shadows are kind of twitchy in some spaces. And sitting over on a pile sort of glaring over at you as he's like sitting on a like chair tied into the side of
Sitting on a chair.
you know, a chair, but the chair is like built into the side of one of the tables so that he's right up on it. This little tiny gnomish figure. It's got like this wild eyebrow that's going like way crazy, and the other one's sort of just normal. And he's currently like tinkering away at what looks to be just like a pile of brass with like weird wooden legs sticking out of it. But as he's like has it in his hand, he looks up at the door and just has like a constant like shaking jitter as he's like, yeah, can I help you?
The star's contagious. We're just wondering if you knew who this crystal gem belonged to. And I'll hold up the heart gem.
Wow! And he pushes a button, and his whole seat just like full on boom, like you're in a fucking cheap 3D movie, and just like zooms straight towards you and like stops right in front of his face as he grabs a hold of the armrest and like swings forward, leaning like, wow, that's one of mine.
Do you remember who you sold it to, or?
Well, let me take a look. Can you mind if you want? Can I have it?
Yeah.
No, you cannot
Wonderful.
have it. You can take a look at it.
Well, that's what I mean. As he takes it and sort of glances at it, pulls out a little spyglass and takes a look at the bottom of it. Yeah. I sold this to a lord. He bought about 6 of them. He came through just about a couple months ago. Let me see what he wrote in the books. Vroom, and he shoots back on the chair, which then you see that there are like grooves along the edges of all of the everything, and the chair that he's in just like slides along this groove like a very strange pachinko machine. As he moves along the ground, there's a pile of stuff that's covering over one of the tracks that he just like blasts through as he makes his way back through the like mayhem into a pile of papers, which he grabs a large book out of and is opening and reading it as his chair is making its way back towards you. Yep. Lord Dungaren, he was interested in several of the things I had to offer, but he only ended up buying the gems of Farsight.
Oh. Could you describe Lord Dungaren? We've been trying to find him. Do you have a contact?
Yeah, he left me with the address where ship the gems.
Oh well, if you could give us that, that'd be a big help. I'm actually
Breathe.
He's got a lot of energy. I can't keep up. We want to talk with him so that I can get more research done on my new project. I'm a transfer student.
What research are you doing?
Oh, it hasn't been decided yet, but I think I'm gonna research cults.
Cool. So that's an interesting sort of research topic. I've never done so much of the book research. I usually am more interested in mechanical, but it's valuable work that you're doing. I can only imagine you wouldn't have to be interested in some work. The group of you don't seem like the typical, if I can be so bold, scrawny ass motherfucking mages that come walking through my workshop.
Is there a mirror in this room, Danny?
There are, as you glance, make a perception check.
Because if there is, I'm gonna look directly into one when he says scrawny ass skinny mages and this gets sad.
Make a perception check. As you look around, and there's like a broken, like several pieces that are hung up like a mirror, and so they give you that weird disjointed look as you sort of glance over at yourself in it.
The comment hits me, but I accept it, and I look at Edwin and Rick and Sam and Grom, and I say, are we gonna accept another job? But I guess so. I mean,
we literally don't know what it is.
Yeah, you're right. It's just he's such a renowned craftsman. Look at what he's working on.
Shush.
So is that a maybe?
It's a what do
if-
you want?
If you give us the shipping address.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can give you the shipping address. That's a breach of protocol that is not approved of, and I have a reputation to maintain. You know what I'm saying? But maybe if you help me out, I can help you out. And just keep it off the books as he shuts the large book and smiles.
Right.
Are those the books right there? Is that an actual book that is like our transaction would be on that book if we did an actual transaction with you?
Well,
Is that the book of transactions that has all transactional history?
That is actually we're going to refer to that now henceforth as the ledger.
Well, are you some kind of lawyer? Is that my understanding?
I can be whatever you want me to be right now.
Well, if
Ooh.
I am most interested in someone who can help me with a certain automaton that has not quite done what it's supposed to do.
All right, what kind of automaton is it?
What does that even mean?
Robot.
Is that a sex thing?
Well, no, no. I just have.
I think those responses just now like perfectly like captured all of our characters.
So are you
Right?
saying that if that ledger has all of the documents that we need,
He shoots back a little bit on the chair, and shoves the ledger into a pile of stuff. Look, I have a reputation to maintain, and I can't just be giving stuff away willy nilly.
so if you just happen to look away,
I would be sacrificing my integrity for a group of strangers who have done nothing for me. That is correct.
Well, just out of curiosity, what did you want us to do?
Well, I have made I made a mistake in making one particular construct for a individual who had interest in. He just had a very strange, particular interest in what could be flung from a crossbow, and he wanted something that I won't say that it was sexual, but it certainly was not normal. What he was asking me to create, but
You're going
he paid
about
very
this
well.
in a very roundabout way.
I made
Yeah,
a giant thing that shoots lots of stuff, whatever's near it, and it just shoots everything. And I've trapped it in my other workspace, as he points to a door that has like 3 bars in front of it. And I'd really like to reclaim that workspace if I could.
It's just over there? Isn't that dangerous?
on a scale of 1 to really, 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 really powerful, where are we at?
I wouldn't want to deal with it myself, but a group of the 4 of you might have more. 5 of you, I can count.
What did you make it out of?
Well,
It better rhyme with salsa.
What does that even mean, Sam?
No, it's not edible at all. I
The
made it
wood we're
mostly-
talking about is balsa.
No, it's made mostly out of oak and adamantine reinforcements. But that's not the difficult part. Is the enchantments that line across its firing mechanism. It was supposed to provide a small electrical charge for a certain kind of pleasure, but it's a bit too strong for that purpose.
Okay, hold on. I'm rubbing the bridge of my nose.
Sounds
What
like
you're
sex,
what
man.
you're fucking telling me is you made some sort of sex crossbow and you want us to take it apart for you.
You want 4 or 5 of us to
No,
go into
hold on.
one room.
Hold on. Meanwhile, sir, we are after a quite dangerous individual who we believe has hurt many more people than that crossbow has. Now, you can give us that ledger right there and we'll just take a quick peek. We'll be on our way. Or I could throw you in that room over there and really see how dangerous this sex crossbow actually is.
Why? Why is this happening?
Make it
Why,
intimidating.
why does every single campaign have some sort of sexual deviancy in it?
Eberron is a dark and deep.
Not even Deveron. This is everywhere.
So, Sam, as you say that, well, I appreciate that you all are think you yourselves very, very capable, but you wouldn't stand a chance against me. If you appreciate your life, I think you might wish to reconsider.
See, funny for you, I don't appreciate my life.
Edwin, are you okay?
So, let's change the tune.
Are you suggesting we go into the sex crossbow
No,
room?
stop calling it a sex crossbow
If
thing.
you're
Sam
so
said it
powerful, then why can't you disassemble your own fucking sex crossbow?
Oh my god, I'm done with this.
It's more of a
So either you're that powerful or you're not. What is it?
you like look. I am that powerful.
Why did you have that
And-
insight roll on
I
that
am-
intimidation?
An insight. Who's rolling that?
I'm
insight?
trying to gauge how powerful he really is with my eyes.
My eyes.
You looking him up and down. Yeah, I'm gonna whisper this to you actually.
Yeah, he's probably just a chair-bound professor.
Oh well. I mean, what's the worst that could happen if we just help him out? It's better than just intimidating him. We're
You
out of
think I want to
school.
get poked with a sex
Oh my
crossbow?
god.
Mr. Korzu,
Ooh! You're a student, aren't you? That Diero.
I hold up my ID proudly.
Diero. Yeah. So, this is your first assignment. In education in disassembly of
Sex
arcane
toys.
weaponry. It's weaponry. It was intended for a different purpose than it ended up being for.
Oh, my first lesson. Let's get right to it. What do I have to do?
Well, just go in that room, and you're just gonna have to smash it into pieces. But if you could not totally destroy it, I would appreciate it.
You said there were wordings on it that I could.
Theoretically, if you could find, there are some glyphs that are in the side of it. That every time it fires, it moves back. There's a plate that moves back, and you can see these glyphs. If you were able to time yourself right, you could get in and disenchant parts of it and make it a little less an effective weapon.
Oh well, that probably won't happen. But I mean, you guys can keep arguing, but I'm gonna go take a peek. I mean, how bad could it be, right?
Well, first things first, I'm gonna close the main door to the office
Okay.
Oh.
and lock it.
Here we go.
You close the main door to the office, and you do not see a lock.
Well, then I'll stand
It's
in
just
front of
a
it.
sheet of
I am-
luan in front of a door.
Thanks for the clarification for the wood type.
Yep.
Well, Sam, you can keep talking to him and see if you can convince him, but Ranger Rick and Grom, do you guys mind helping me out? We just have to break it. What easier task is that?
If we just had to break it, wouldn't the guy who made it just have to break it since he's so mighty and powerful?
This is my assignment now.
Look, I might be a master of creation, but I am not by any sense the master of destruction. As his seat now sort of goes up towards one of the back tables, putting some distance between you all. As he sort of like now is talking at you from about 15 feet away.
A good safe distance.
Hmm.
Is there a window into that room, or is it just like a solid door?
It is like
It's
a
a Luan door,
solid.
so it might not be that solid.
No, this door is actually much more solid. It's like solid pine. It's like as if you were to staple a bunch of, or if you were to laminate
Okay, I don't
of
need a
2x4s
wood.
together, lengthwise, so that it's like about a 3.5-inch thick door.
It's hefty.
Yeah, very hefty on very
Hefty,
large
hefty,
hinges.
big.
Spot? No, okay.
No.
All right. Okay. Are you in, Grommen, Rick?
I'm right behind you.
I'm not convinced why we should be doing this.
Well, we need to get the information, and this seems to be the quickest route.
No. The quickest route is taking the book.
Well, that's kind of rude, Edwin.
So is having to go clean up someone else's crossbow of doom.
Well,
Crossbow of doom, more like
Oh my god.
crossbow of a bit not as erotic pleasure as he hoped for.
anyways, Professor, or can I call you Professor? I guess it's another
Yeah.
Professor Korzu. Is there any way you can help us?
I mean, he is so powerful and mighty.
Well, I could. Do you have a magical weapon?
I have a pen.
Well, that not so much you. I mean, if you help me out, I can enchant your weapons very simply, or so that they're magical.
This is me showing him. I'm not stabbing him. This is not an attack. I repeat, I will not kill another innocent creature in any game.
You pull out a very basic steel dagger. Yeah. That's not gonna do much to one of my creations. Here. If you said you would help, and looking at Grom, who like nods. Grom, who's holding a battle axe, he like notes this, looks around and through one of the piles of stuff. His chair moves along, and he reaches into a pile and pulls out what looks to be a like similar battle axe that is just sort of like sheened with like metal, a different color of metal across the cutting blade of it as he moves his way across the floor over towards Grom. He hands it up to him. This should be able to cut through the armor of the machine. Oh well, thank you. I would wait to everybody. I don't know if the two of you alone are going to be able to destroy this contraption. I offered only because there was a large group of you.
I look at the group longingly.
I
Fine,
literally
I guess
use my
we'll do it.
fists. Tell me how you're gonna enchant my fists.
Well, I can't do that. but I could
So
give
mighty
you
and powerful you are.
if you want, I know of a man who could give you metal fists.
What?
You would have to lose your hands first.
Actually, out of character. What would that actually give me?
I'm not going to tell you that.
But
metal
could I still be like doing unarmed strikes with metal hands?
You can go search into that more if you would like.
Cut off your hands. Find
I'm
out.
asking the DM how he would rule a monk having bricks for hands.
And I'm telling you that if you're interested in knowing that information, you can find that out in game.
Ha 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 ha.
Just be like, hey, so Korzu, what would that do for unarmed strikes for a monk? But how would that work? Am I still considered unarmed? Since I have to find this out in game.
I'm not an expert in limb replacement, but Matrix Decaneth is. He could tell you more about the procedure.
That doesn't answer if it would make it so I could do anything. What's the point of making metal hands if I can't use them?
You're asking me a lot of
You are
questions.
useless to me.
I have had a very, very simple. If you guys aren't interested, you can just. I'd appreciate it if you leave.
Oh no, we're not leaving.
This Lord Dungaren, he came and he bought this gemstone.
We have to find Dungaren. Edwin, remember?
That's why I said we're not leaving.
You just have to break a machine.
Or break a man in a chair.
Well, it's my professor. I can't
He's
let
not
you
your
do
professor.
That. I look at him. Are you a professor of this school?
That I am.
I look back at him. He's my professor.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
I assure you that though you may think that I will be easily dispatched. I assure you that you are looking down the barrel of a gun you cannot fire.
Like I said, that threat only works if you value your life.
Well, if you again, you really ought to seek out some professional help for that.
Well, I'm just gonna go take. Can I take a peek into that room just to see what we're dealing with, Professor?
I would gingerly. It might get angry.
Oh boy.
An erotic crossbow.
Oh my
feelings.
God, bless.
As you and Grom slowly go to open, there's like bars across this door as you pull one bar up. Grom having to pull the second and third because they're a little bit too tall and you don't have good leverage and you're pretty weak.
As I'm opening it up, I'll kind of like reach back to Sam and I'll say, "Well, Sam, you can't let a machine like this be out in your city, can you?"
It's not.
I mean,
it's locked in a room.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this thing is locked in a room and it poses no threat to the general public other than this man himself. And we're also hunting down a man who has allegedly killed, like, I don't know, like 5 people that we
Is the
know
door
of.
opening?
Yeah, as you sort of pull the door.
Yeah, I mean,
open,
I guess this would look pretty bad for Korzu, with the whole city guard finding out about all of this.
How's it look now, Sam? As the door's opening.
the door opens up, peering in. It's barely lit in there. The lights, the mage lights, have not been re-upped in a long time, and it's sort of flickering dim light. As you glance in, there's again piles of junk all over the place. However, there are track marks across the floor that are fairly just paths running through it with like tread marks, like a tank has been through there. As you glance in, you see, or rather you hear, just like the as you glance over, and there is this weird, like, contraption sitting in the corner, just sort of glancing off over or facing a wall. It has like a draconic like head, and these large bowed crossbow bits that come out of the back of it. A couple of hooks over the top that look like just like these like weird
Handcuffs?
No, more like metal arms that they do have a grasping mechanism, but it looks like it is more designed for the loading and unloading of objects into the crossbow device.
Oh, I guess that's it, right? And I'm gonna. Oh, I guess that's how that works.
Yeah, so magic missile just hits. Go ahead and roll it 2 more times as you reach into the room, and as soon as that happens, so where's the arrow? Let me go ahead and give you guys
How does aim work with this?
magic missile.
You just point at it.
Magic missile always hits.
Yeah, but like, can I aim specific parts?
No.
Oh, that's
No, yeah, you can't do that.
even as a spell sniper.
I'll just put you over. So Grom
Normally, outside of like magic in general, if you are calling out specific parts, most DMs that I play with make that as a disadvantage because unless you have like a specific trait that would allow you to call out specific parts. Because instead of aiming for like the body, like the person, you're aiming for, I want to hit that left calf. It's like, okay, well that's much more of a skilled shot.
Is there anything I can roll to aim for one of the arms, Almighty DM?
I would say, well, since you've already done that, no.
But next time.
Next time, I would say that you could roll a magic ability check, and I would set a DC, and see if you could hit it.
Well, I mean, was I correct, Daniel?
Typically, yeah, it would be a disadvantage or a.
I want to make sure I wasn't spewing,
Yeah,
false.
that's like other spells besides magic missile.
Yeah, depending on, I might also say like it has cover. I might use the rules for cover if it's like called shot. Which
But
just
I have the spell sniper. You're
but I might use those rules anyway if it's a called shot to just increase.
Sense.
Yeah, to give it some, because it's not just as easy as hitting the target if you're aiming at a specific.
Right.
But at that point, if you could go ahead.
Roll
initiative. Yeah, roll initiative.
Side note, I would have come with them. If the
Okay.
group's going with it, I'm not gonna not go.
Okay, well,
I'm just
for
gonna
the sake of
murder
this,
hobo later.
Oh.
as you guys are sort of standing at the edge of the doorway, I just map because it has a convenient small room. You can go ahead and click on your character. I think you all, and roll initiative.
Thank you, temporal awareness. That nifty plus intelligence mod. Wow.
Okay. Sorry, I did not mean to roll it twice. It has an initiative.
Why is there a winky face after it?
That's what I was looking for.
It's not sexual. It
So and Grom
just winks at you every time it shoots you in the ass.
So,
Ranger Rick, are you participating in combat?
Yeah.
Ranger Rick can be quoted tonight as just, yeah.
So Diero, as you step into the room and magic missiles arc out across through the room, and like homing missiles hit the side of this large draconic-like face, it immediately turns to face you. The wheels turning against the ground, treading, just like various like a bobcat would. The arms immediately just start grasping around and picking up things beside it and loading it into the shooting mechanical bit, Diero. But you can go once more as you ready for like, oh geez. You can go again.
What are the things around it? Like
right,
grabbing?
right now, currently around it, it looks. Make a perception check.
All right. Let me use my eyeballs.
Looking at it, in sort of the dim light, it looks like it just grabbed an assortment of like wooden planks with one of the arms, and the other arms just sort of grabbed into a box, and it was just sort of some weird, just like rubber tubing. It's like just putting into it.
Oh lord.
Oh my. Is it? You said it was high up on the ground.
It's currently on the ground, sort of like in with piles of junk and crates. It's level with you currently.
Sweet.
It just turned to face you, and currently you see the like draconic like mouth with like a like charging energy in the base of it, and the like large bowed crossbow section that's right in front of it.
Like.
Yeah. Like what? What do you got, Edwin?
This is not my turn.
Oh, okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, if you cast a spell as a wizard, can you still use the same spell? Because I know you have to like have them prepared in your ritual book or whatever.
If you
Or is that not a
cast,
thing?
you can cast if you have
Magic
that spell
missile is a
prepared. You
cantrip.
can cast. No, it's
No, it's
not.
not.
Oh, it's level 1?
It's a first level spell.
Huh.
But if you have it prepared, you can cast it with all of your first level
Oh,
spells.
sweet. All right. That's
Like you
why
could cast the same spell 6 times in a row if you wanted.
when I've only ever played fighting. Like,
Yeah.
anyways, let's do it. Let's do it
Go
again.
for
Just 1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay.
Boom! As all those, the great thing about magic missiles is it always hits. As 9 points of damage, just sort of knocks, and just like along the edge of the, just like one on one in a straight line across the across the bow of the thing.
And then with my bonus action, I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on Grom.
You can do.
I can't.
You can. You're allowed to cast 2 spells if one is 2 spells in a turn. I think you might not be able to do that. Nah.
Learning how to play. Should have stuck with weapons. An aggressive brute has entered the field.
So, okay. One spell is cast time as a bonus action. You're not using bonus action for anything else. The other spell. So yeah.
I'm
So the
fine
other
with going
spell,
Ranger Rick.
you can only cast 2 spells if one is a bonus action. Or sorry, if one is a cantrip. That's what the yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Not a problem then.
So as you cast, standing in the doorway, it just takes the damage in Grom. Well, oh, sorry, it's not Grom's turn. It's fucking Edwin's turn. As you standing a little ways back, I'd say you're 10 feet away from the door. I don't know how far you are in this map.
Where's Korzu?
Korzu would be somewhere that way. This is not like that map is not accurate to the room entirely.
I understand, but like,
Yeah, but he's like
can I
10
see
feet.
him?
Oh yeah, you can see him. He's like 12 feet away from you.
All right, Korzu. You got to add a Mantine staff, quarterstaff.
Well, just let me find it.
Okay.
Do you wait for him to find it? Okay, well then that's your turn. I'm gonna make Korzu roll initiative actually. Because
Danny, the fact that you said like let me find the staff and then like looked into the distance, I was like, did you just break?
I actually forget that I leave my camera on for you guys.
It registered with me that he said that he reinforced this thing out of adamantine. So if we don't have adamantine weapons, good luck.
Yep. So that's your turn. It's now the Oaken Bolter's turn. Is it turns?
For
faces
reference,
you?
I wouldn't be in that placement. I would be at the very back because, as I said, I was at the far edge of the office.
Yep.
So
So as the Oaken Bolter turns to face you guys, you see an electrical as it shoots across, and is going to go ahead and make 2 lancing bolt attacks.
Grom crumbles to the ground. Dead.
One on Grom, one on Diero.
That's where we
So
just
this is for
close the
Grom.
door.
Oh, sorry. It's range, not. So this one's for Grom, and this one's for Diero.
This
So
is where we
it's-
just close the door.
It's a sorry, I double clicked both of those, but it's actually a 12 and 11 are the ones that I called. So 12 for Grom still hits him.
Damn.
And 11 for Diero.
No.
Okay, so that one misses you. So Grom takes 13 points of piercing damage as the electrically charged bolt just shoots a hole straight through his shoulder. You hear that of his shoulder blade just shatter and blow out the back of his back. Go! As he falls back a little bit, his one arm going slightly limp.
I thought instead of like just yelling, Danny, I thought you just like made Grom yell at his own name as his like I'm hurt cry. Grom.
Grom.
Oh my god.
How'd that feel, Grom? Was it oddly pleasurable?
Oh my lord.
You look at Grom as he just like the tears well up his face as his face turns to a little bit of rage as the Oaken Bolter goes to go straight in the doorway.
No.
And is now
Run!
facing out into the room where all of you guys are.
Oh shit.
Good thing I closed the door to the office.
Yeah. So that's the Oaken Bolter's turn. It's now Grom's turn. Grom, what on earth are you? As he takes his new improved war axe. That is now. I can spell adamantine. Boom! Miss. Boom! Hits! 3 points of slashing damage. As he just sort of like wails on the side of this metal thing, and it makes the sound of things that hit Captain America's shield that just ting, ting, without looking like it's hardly doing anything. Although you do see a couple of you do see a couple of just like sparks fly off, and there's now some scratch marks across the metallic edge of the Oaken Bolter. That is Grom's going to, well, since he is in melee with it, is Grom smart? No. So that's Grom's turn.
Is Grom smart?
Sam, as you see this thing now standing in the doorway, it's about 5 feet tall, but also like 5 feet wide. It will like just fit through the doorway, and it's currently like whirring up, and you see that electrical energy is cracking along the edge of all the glyphs at the front of it as it's charging up its next shot.
I closed the door.
You rush up to, so you push your way forward. It's not a hallway. There's actually, I'll just reveal some more space since there is a bit more area. We'll say, but you can rush up to the door. And let's see, the door was barred, which means it opens outwards. So yeah, you can close the door.
I barred the door.
Go ahead and make a strength check. I'll say, yeah, you in your action, you can shut the door bonus action and then pick up a crossbar and place one of them in front of the door. That is your turn, though.
That is my turn. Korzak, what the fuck?
Just a second, I'm looking for. The owl's turn.
Who?
It's
What's up the shut door? Comes back to me. What
Okay.
the fuck?
Owl lands on your shoulder. Rick, Sam just shut the door. What you doing?
Is there someone that can attack close to me?
I mean, all of us, but like, please don't.
Nah.
Everyone on screen is a friend, but the dot in the
I'm-
room.
Nothing.
Okay. So Rick, you just sort of stay at the door's now shut. Fine. Diero, what you doing?
Oh, is the door like completely shut?
There's one bar across the door currently.
I look at Sam and I say, "You didn't want to fight it?"
I point at Grom. He's got a hole in his shoulder.
Did it look like we damaged it at all?
It looks like your spells like left small craters across its functionality, and Grom did like ship. You saw sparks flying, which implies that some damage was.
Okay. Well, I'll look at Corzu and I say, "Well, let's wait until Edwin has a weapon, and then we can maybe go back." I don't know. That felt pretty dangerous, guys.
No, it's for your assignment, Diero.
You're right.
So as you shout that out, and Edwin, on your turn, I'll say you shout that out. We get back to the Oak and Bolter's turn. As it, you hear the sound ramping up from behind the door as the first strike, point blank into a door, hits a door, dealing 12 points of piercing damage to a wooden door.
Which you said was a really good wooden door.
3 inches thick.
Yep.
Why'd you look at this camera like that, Ranger?
Lord Almighty.
I
Don't
saw
talk
that.
to me.
I saw that.
So 4d6. Okay. So,
The door's blasted open and we're all got shot with splinters.
no. So the first
Oh,
first
jeez.
hit does deal damage to the door, but the door, you see this like you see this like rubber tip
Stop.
just
Oh my Jesus,
pierce
Lord
through the
Almighty.
door.
Why?
It's split. I'm sorry, that's what was in it. Its splinters shatter across the room a little bit, but the door is not falling down. The second bolt from the Oaken Bolter,
See that? It wants to do that, but to your insides.
and the second one hits the hinge of the door, which then flies spinning over your guys' head and crashes into the wall above Edwin's head.
The door or the hinge?
The door.
I don't think we have a choice anymore.
The door blasts off. Oh, angry. As at this point, he has come back with a quarterstaff that is just metal, and has chucked it at you, Edwin. Although it is the Oaken Bolter's turn, that's gonna order thing. But the Oaken Bolter, as it slams into the door above, Grom is gonna go ahead and make 2 attacks on it now that the thing is there.
Does that change stats or is it just make it adamantine?
It just makes it adamantine.
Okay.
So neither of those hit. As they just sort of glance off of it, make it stop. That is Grom's go, worthlessly flailing. Sam, as you have just ducked and the door flies over your head, nearly clocking you in the noggin. What would you like to do?
Noggin.
All right. Well, I guess now this is unavoidable. I'm gonna do my old little insight check against it. It's contested by the object's deception check.
Well, I'm not even gonna make it roll because it has a charisma of 1.
You never know.
Because it's an object.
Hey, I have a charisma of 0.
It is literally incapable of rolling higher than a 15. So I think that you're incapable of rolling lower than a 15.
You're telling me there's a chance.
I think
That's also true.
I think you're good, Sam. You can clearly see how it functions and what its prerogative is. And right now, its prerogative is
Shooting rubbery things with tips.
Is
Oh my
it
God.
like on wheels? Like what is
it's on tank. It's on tank treads, and you see as it's charging up, there's the mechanism that pulls back whatever's in its like top funnel.
It's Hopper.
It's Hopper, thank you. The top funnel, as they say in the crafting world of Eberron. The Hopper, as we might say in the real world. But whatever's in the hopper filters in, and there is a plate that is guarding it that looks like it moves whenever it fires. Would be some things that you notice about Sam.
I've never fought a crossbow before. Here goes, guys.
That does hit.
Yippee-ki-yay!
That does hit. So as you do reach out and you poke it with your weapon dinks across the side of it and snaps.
Oh.
Oh.
As your rapier breaks straight in fucking half.
I just look at it. Today's been a day.
And it now points bolt right at you. It's currently well, you still have movement, Sam.
I'm going to disengage.
Okay.
Step back.
And disengage and just roll back, broken rapier in your hand, just like the hilt with a little nub of stabby bit. The owl's turn.
With a little nub of stabby bit.
Yep.
Good things. Can the owl retrieve things?
Yes.
All right, owl. Try and take out unload it essentially.
Go ahead and have the owl.
The owl's gonna get sucked into the hopper. It's about to become a projectile.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
The arrow gets killed by his
Killed
own
by
owl.
your own bird.
The owl needs to make a dexterity save. So the owl flies over and goes to grab something out of the hopper.
Just sucks it in.
Oh no.
As the owl flies over and tries, this is just the roll I chose to do, a contested, as the owl flies over and just like, it does grab out a handful of just assorted rubber like tubing, and picks it up and starts to fly away. One of the bits of the tubing sort of gets stuck by the base of it, on part of the metal, and the owl gets stuck, and the oaken bolter grabs your owl and puts it in the hopper with the rest of the tubing.
Oh, okay. The owl doesn't drop the tubing when it's grabbed? Come on. Alright.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would say that it's a couple pieces of the tubing have fallen out. But you do note that the thing is literally constantly is just filling its hopper with stuff.
Franklin!
Franklin is now smooshed in there. Well, it's technically not your turn. So the owl is currently in the hopper.
That's gross. Are you proud of yourself?
Nope. Rick, now you can see a thing to fight.
Yeah, but I just saw that sword get broken. My arrows aren't doing anything for this guy. I'm just gonna retreat.
Okay. So as you rush back,
Dignifiedly retreat.
as you rush back dignifiedly, Korzu comes back. His initiative was 3. Comes back with just a handful. Here, and chucks towards you, adamantine quarterstaff towards you, Edwin. A few adamantine arrows, 5 to be exact, towards you, Rick. And Sam, he hands you an adamantine short sword.
Yeah, thanks a lot. My fucking sword broke.
I thought never mind. As he now turns towards it, and I was about to say hightails it, but his chair is what moves, and that just did it. He chairs away. Diero, as the Oaken Bolter is now charging up in the door frame, as you're sort of standing closest to it.
My own fucking owl in that thing now?
Make a perception check.
Like, is it a transparent hopper? Like, what do we got?
Make a perception check.
Here we go.
Glancing, since it is right next to it, and you are looking straight down the barrel of like the mouth, the draconic mouth that is shaped, you do see your owl's head just like in the mouth of the creature, currently loaded, aimed to fire.
That is messed up. Okay, well, it is an action to make them disappear, but would that be casting a spell?
It is an action. It would not be casting a spell.
Bet. All right, so I'll do that. I'll make him disappear. Yeah, so I don't see my own owl lodge into me.
Your owl disappears, and a piece of wood falls into place instead.
And then I'm what's the thing looking at? Who's it aiming at?
Currently, it was aiming at Sam, and it has not adjusted its aim yet. So it's sort of just aiming down the middle between you and Grom.
Okay, I shall Shield of Faith Grom.
Okay.
Assuming that's okay. That's all I got.
Cool. So Grom's AC is increased by 2 as the Oaken Bolter is now charging up the energy along the edges of it. Edwin now with an adamantine staff in hand.
Right. I'm not going to even use it. I'm going to run up. Like, just like do the whole like step of the wind thing. Right to it. And then unarmed strike it.
Okay. That hits.
Broken fist.
And then we're doing Fury of Blows. So that means I just gotta hit. Do I do it again? How does that work?
So yeah, you get to
2 more unarmed strikes.
2 more unarmed strikes against it. Yeah. All of those hit.
And then with the way of the open hand technique, it needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh. Okay.
Paralyze it.
And if it fails a dexterity saving throw, it gets knocked prone.
Oof.
Okay. I believe a 20 succeeds.
I don't know how to contest that. It doesn't actually call anything.
Your dex save would be 8 plus your wisdom modifier plus proficiency.
So 8 plus my wisdom, so that'd be 11 plus
your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so that'd be a 14.
Yeah,
okay.
14.
So 28 saves.
It does save.
Let's see if it does anything else. Knocked prone. Okay, so it only takes effect if it fails. Okay.
Yep.
It's more of I just unlocked it, so I wanted to unlocked. I just learned it, so I wanted to see how it worked.
Super fair. As you are now like not prancing, but stepping side to side in front of this creature, or in front of this machine, not realizing your punches will not physically damage it, instead trying to find balancing points.
Can I reflavor something?
Okay.
It won't change the attack. It'll change how I got there. Basically, there's no reason for me to step of the wind to it. It would be step of the wind away from it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, logically, like I wouldn't like blast up to it, smack it a bunch, and then
if you use
Okay.
If you use step of the wind on your turn, you can say later what is. I got what you were saying.
Yeah. Cool.
Flavor wise, yeah.
Like I said, it's not going to change how I actually attack. It's just going to change the fact that instead of me blasting up to it, I'm going to blast away from it.
Right. So mark off that you've used those key points them down. As you instead rush towards it and then immediately rush away from it.
Yes. That's where I blink away. Just poof, gone.
As you did, as with each of your strikes, as opposed to trying to deal damage, you try and find its balance point, its center of gravity, which is very low. And on your last hit, you attempt to just get it off balance and knock it over, which theoretically would totally knock this thing prone. I mean, if it was knocked prone, it probably would have really messed its day up. But you don't quite, it moves its tread and your hand almost gets caught in the treading and just pulled underneath it. But you just barely manage to pull your claw out in time before your hand is just shredded by a tank tread.
Okay.
So, that being your turn, the Oaken Bolter now. You watch as it now seeing the larger room outside for the first time. The machinery in its head goes. You see a gear shift over, and the blue crackling energy on the front immediately shifts red. And you hear Korzu, "Oh, that's not good." As it launches an explosive bolt, as this large cylindrical object blasts into the room, undulating slightly in the air, as it lands right in the center of the room.
So does it go past me?
It would be pretty close. Do you want to try and catch it?
Dude, cool, do it.
Okay, so roll.
Oh, cool.
Go ahead and
Eat it.
go ahead and roll a D. So this is not the ruling, but because this is a different, you'll understand.
Well, I guess
because
wouldn't it would have to actually shoot me, right? Because it calls off being done off damage.
Yes, that's why I'm gonna rule this differently. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Is how I'm gonna rule. So as you go to reach out and grab this sort of like red flaming chunk of rubber that just flies into the center of the room, you just barely miss it as it instead reaches the center of the room, stops, spins around in midair, and erupts into a ball of fire.
Nice. We're dead.
Probably good you didn't grab it. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving.
We're gonna die.
So, let me roll the damage. Dice roller. 5. So,
Hey,
Edwin-
so how long has it been since the whole tower incident?
it's been a few hours, but you guys have not taken a rest.
All right. I am knocked unconscious.
As the explosion ricochets through the room, Edwin, you take the full 19. Everybody else takes instead 9 points of fire damage. Except for Grom, who takes 19, and is also knocked unconscious. Slammed into the wall. +2 is to
His AC.
AC, not his saving throw. Yep. So as currently knocked unconscious, are Edwin and Grom as they're blasted into the side of the room. Takes 9 points of fire damage as the Oaken Bolter comes into the room.
So I see Grom and Edwin go down, right?
Correct.
And that was a saving throw that they had to roll.
Correct.
Did I see Edwin fight the thing?
Fight the thing.
Like, did I see him punch it?
You saw him reach out and grab towards it.
Okay. I'm gonna try Chrono Shift on Grom to see if he can succeed. That's a reaction.
To see if he can succeed, so he re-rolls his saving throw?
Yeah.
No.
Grom!
Why'd you do it on Grom? I would have punched him a punch.
So
I didn't see if your punch was effective.
So the way the chronal shift works, you see the reality where Grom flies off into the left wall and smashes and hits the ground charred, and instead you're like, no, and you like shift the reality. So instead of flying into the left wall and crashing to the ground, he flies into a pile of trash and that catches on fire slightly, and he's now over here exploded and on the ground. So
Should have gone with that win.
that is the Oaken Bolter's turn. It is now Grom's turn. He is going to make a death save, which is just a d20 roll. He fails. So Grom has one failed death save. That's Grom's go. Sam, it's your turn as you watch this explosion ricochet into the room as now piles of junk are burning all over the place. This room is not up to OSHA standards by any sense of the word. And it's currently like a little bit on fire. Smoke is starting to build, and the machine is now like this horrific hellfire contraption is now coming into the room, charging its bolts again.
There will be hell to pay. Hiya!
Oh, it's gonna be like, says that, does nothing.
Nice.
So that will miss.
Nice.
As you rush
You
up
spelled
towards
crossbow wrong.
A crossbow.
As the adamantine short sword, you swing outward, and the thing has tank treads that go one direction, but it also, underneath it, ka-chunk, you hear the sound of another set of treads that lower down, and it just shifts just out of the way of your swing, rather unsuspectedly. Move, whoever has that measuring tool, please move it.
That would be Sam Shepard.
Yep. As it just misses Sam, as you walk up towards it, and you now, where do you head to? There you go. As you dash around it, using its movement to sneak around and go back into the other room where you are currently hidden from it.
Korzu, now it'd be time to show me that power you were talking about.
So, Rick, it's your turn.
Yep, so Ranger Rick is gonna see all this shit, be terrified of this thing, gonna come peek around this corner and try to hit him. That's all he's got.
That'll miss.
Well,
You peek around the corner, twang, the adamantine arrow hits and just like sort of sticks, like when you chuck a dart at something that's not a dartboard and it just barely like dinks into the wall.
Thunk.
Yep. Is that your so that's your go. Initiative count 3, Korzu. Yep, on it. As he pulls, his chair slides over, pulls a couple levers through piles of the flaming junk that's about. Various other small crossbows come popping out, and I'm just going to use this stat block as 4 crossbows from various points in the room shoot out. I'm just using Grom's stat block because it's a crossbow. As 2 of them do hit, dealing 10 points of damage as they land into the Oaken Bolter, dealing their adamantine tipped damage. The bolter now is like, you see the gearing machinations of its enchanted brain that are now sort of just like glancing around the room and trying to develop what its next strat is. Diero, it's now currently right beside you as Sam has just rolled past you. What would you like to do?
I can see its thinking bits.
You can now, yeah, that you're right up on it, yeah. And you also see that every time it fires, that plate that slides open and close.
All right, cool. Level 2 magic missile, so it'll be 4 bolts.
Gotcha.
Right at the thing I'm looking at.
Okay.
Stop
Go
moving.
ahead and make an intelligence check.
Oh. Is that just a saving throw, or do you want me to click intelligence?
Straight check. Click intelligence.
Wow.
Nice. It does. You are able to focus the magic missiles right into the sort of central machinations of it. Not waiting for the plate to come aside. It does glance a little bit, but it does appear to land a bit more soundly than you might have suspected. So using the power of math, that's 8, 10, 15 points of damage. As the Oaken Bolter now is looking quite rough. As that explosion, a few gears fly out of it, landing into the wall. And it is now sort of like, you see its movement is now like a bearing that's missing a couple of the ball bearings within it. It just sort of like ka-chunks along, and it sticks. It's having difficulty moving as its various grabbing bits are now reaching out and grabbing things in this room that are partially on fire, that are partially broken and discarded. Edwin, as you lie unconscious, smacked against the wall, the rubber tubing from above falls onto your head at the top of the round. This is just for thematic flair. Go ahead and roll a death saving throw.
Oof.
That is one fail for Crown.
You just got unicorned.
If I die because of this encounter, I will be forever furious at you, Andrew.
That you failed your assignment?
That you decided to fight a sex crossbow.
And as the sex crossbow turns towards you, since you're the closest one to it and has also dealt the most damage to it, Diero, you see loaded straight in its hopper, one of the larger rubber tubing sections.
I gotta call it that, man.
Well, because I'm not about to call it what it really is.
Don't call it anything. This is supposed to go on YouTube.
Welcome to YouTube.
Hi, welcome to YouTube. Get that young explicit rating.
Oh my lord.
Hey, it's your book. Come on.
We're gonna be sponsored by like Adam and Eve.
There is no sponsorships.
Dude, could we get that?
No, stop
That'd be a
talking.
dope
Stop
sponsorship.
talking.
So, as the bolts just come straight out of this thing's mouth and just jab straight into you twice, Diero, let me go ahead and roll their attack.
Goodbye, Diero.
Nope. Yeah, nope.
Wow.
I
those
will
are some-
accomplish my assignment.
That is a 2 and a 3 that thing just rolled. Lucky you. As you just barely dodging out of this rubber tubing that just blasts out of it. As you dodging out of the way, while that's happening, behind it, the exhaust fumes of this machine that are now thick, dark smoke just billowing over Grom's body as he makes another death save.
Cannot be good for the Lions.
No, it cannot be. He succeeds, though, against all odds. Good job, Grom. Sam, as you rolling in the room, you hear the sounds of the machinery and just like the of Diero. What would you like to do?
I will. Hiya.
As you
Nice,
roll
dude.
out and just slash against the back of it, and you just see it just like this huge ray of sparks that just glances right off it, and you're like, yes, I dealt so much damage, and you cunning action away, thinking that you did a real good job.
Why you gotta talk to him like that, man?
Hey, I'm just saying that his character thinks he did a real good job. Rick,
I'm
it's
doing
your
a real
go.
good job.
This doesn't exist in nature. Don't like this at all. So he's gonna shoot at it again. Cause what the fuck is this stuff?
Go for it.
Yeah, I clicked the button. It didn't do the thing. There it did.
That will hit.
Take
5
that.
points of piercing damage, and because of you're still using an adamantine arrow, twang! It does stick, and it pierces right into the side of it, actually into the hopper. So some of the bits of the various things coming down are now sort of like jammed a little bit. It looks like it might have some difficulty with its ranged attacks. That is your go, Rick. Bottom of the round. I think I got, and he pulls another couple of levers. As the other crossbows are spending this turn reloading, he finds two more levers that he remembered that he had, and is going to go ahead and roll those two crossbows that appear both out of the wall, both shooting and hitting. As the two crossbows pull out of the wall and from the top right into the brains, quote unquote, of this machination, just as it's charging up an electrical shock that was about to bolt right through Diero, the bolts crush through and the machine whirs down and stops moving.
Is initiative over?
I hit it.
You hit it once more and it just crumbles apart. The sides of the tanks fall off just like an Avatar: Last Airbender. The like treads fall to the side. The draconic like head falls out, and all the various ammo that had been loaded up in it just spills out on the ground.
All right, boys, the combat lifesaver training's kicking in.
How's everybody doing? We got two knocked out friends. I'll check around.
I was next to this guy when he was hit, unfortunately, so I feel a bit more tied to my responsibility for his health.
Go ahead and make a medicine check then.
Not to worry,
Sam,
I was certified in my 2-month training.
I'm gonna roll one for Grom then. If that's
Go
okay.
for it. You guys both succeed in stabilizing your friends. Fortunately, the damage taken, although extreme, is not. You're able to resuscitate them fairly easily. As it was mostly the shock that knocked them unconscious and left them to bleed out. You guys are currently coated in heavy burns, but you are now stabilized and no longer bleeding out. As with a few bandages and a little bit of just spare cantrip style magic to sort of like soothe the burns. You guys come to on the floor of this now partially burning. Several of the Korzu is currently going about and has various he is like using his hands and holding them out, and like frost is pouring out over the various elements of fire that are now currently in this workshop.
I will help him out. Once I'm done helping out Grom. Korzu, do I pass?
Yeah.
You're too far away from the mic.
Yeah. There probably was a more effective. But yeah, no, that the job is done. I can hear. And he goes ahead and pulls out the book. I can give you that address now.
When he goes to grab the book, I'm gonna take a piece of the robot.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Do.
He does not seem to notice as you go.
What are the options that I'm not gonna grab a rubbery bit if you're thinking that's what I'm gonna go for.
No. But so currently things that you're not dumb, things that you could easily grab. There are a few medium to like small gears that are lying there, as well as a couple of brass springs that you see, and also a couple of adamantine, just like chunks of metal that are in various shapes with runes etched on.
I'm gonna grab one that fits in my bag nicely, an adamantium piece.
Okay, the little adamantine piece, it has a couple of scrawled across it that you're not quite sure on a quick glance what they are, but you could probably translate them.
And I just look up and smile as though nothing happened. Oh, and then Franklin comes back. Woo.
Franklin appears back on your shoulder. Whoo! With both hands, both owl wings up in the air as Franklin do.
Does he have anything naughty in his hands, or is he good? Is he clean? Is he pure?
As he sort of like fluffs up and just like looks at you, just like judgmentally. He looks fine.
Okay.
I think to myself, wow, that seemed like an awfully illegal invention. Would I be correct in my assumption in my head?
Make a history check as you try and remember the finer details of creation law.
Of weapon manufacturing and gun running.
Yeah, go ahead. We're looking back. I gave you I didn't. Because you are in fact a guard and you should know these things. But looking, you gather that you know that the university has a lot of its own. Is one of the major oversights, or rather intentional oversights, because they do create a lot. It's sort of how like people look past some weapons developers, you know, in times of war, and the laws just haven't quite caught up. So it's actually a little bit of a debate, and you could come in on either side of it right now. But it's technically yes, this would probably be illegal. And certainly the fact that it was uncontrolled and what you would presume is unreported, it makes you feel like it was probably pretty illegal. As far as like the vaguely sexual nature of this machine, you don't know the details of.
Definitely a sex machine.
There's just no reason. There's just no reason.
But there's also no reason for it to not be.
What type of logic is this?
Perfectly good logic.
I wait for him to give us this address.
But here, and he writes it down.
And 25 gold.
He looks at you.
They're conscious, right?
Yeah, they're conscious now. Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Oh wait, I know how to write an address.
Do you?
He hands you. He actually will tear off a part of the page, and hand it to you.
I snatch it. You know, Corzo.
You should really, I should really get 25 gold because, you know, otherwise
This seems like
this may
a
have to
real,
be told to the city guard.
a real illegal operation. You got going here. I really should be bringing you in.
Noting actually, he was not really paying attention. Noting actually for the first time that you are a guard. I will say that it was for one of the guard captains. But you here. You go ahead and keep those weapons as a good faith. And here, you can. Looking about his shop, he just sort of was like,
Feather fall tokens.
You want
Feather fall tokens.
Yeah, that's easy.
A lot of them.
Pulls open a drawer and sort of starts like tossing through it. Here, and he hands you like 10 Featherfall tokens.
Perfect.
And also there are let me just go ahead and he also hands you a token that is in the shape of a leaf. That's sort of just mixed into it. He doesn't make any mention of it, but you have 9 Featherfall tokens and 1 that is a leaf shape.
I
To Edwin?
I no longer care what he does.
He just sort of tosses them.
I take all of them.
towards-
I no
Yeah.
longer care anything he does. Korzu, you're
Edwin-
good in my books. I saw nothing here. It just happened that something caught fire and unfortunate.
Whoa, Korzu. What about my friend Grom over here? I point at his shoulder. I mean, Grom, are you a student here? Are you a student, Grom?
No.
Oh, Grom's not a student, so you just harmed a civilian.
But
An average citizen of Asharn.
that I don't make an intimidation check with advantage.
I'd hate for this to get out.
21. What? Look. I sort of like calming down. What do you want?
Grom, this is your pain and suffering. What do you want?
I would very much like to leave.
And he wants 20 gold. He told me that.
He's like, yeah,
And
yeah,
healing
yeah.
potions.
He pulls out a sack. I don't have healing potions, but here, take this. It's what I have in the shop with me. I'm sure you can find. He hands you a hefty sack, of coin.
You literally did not
Puts-
need to specify that. Like we knew what you meant.
Well, I just wanted to specify it.
We were on the same page from the beginning.
Sam, you have.
There's never
no-
been a question in my mind that if he's gonna hand me a heavy sack, it's gonna be of coins, not like soap. Soap bars.
Could have been lube.
Why would that be in a sack?
I don't know. Are tubes invented?
I don't know. I guess they are. They're
This whole time we've been
projectiles.
fighting against long rubbery tubes. They're definitely
It's-
invented.
Just sexually repressed Daniel talking about crossbows with dildos.
Oh, you just wish you knew the conversation we had before the session.
No.
when-
But
How much money did we
Continue.
make so I could go buy some freaking healing potions? Because I'm at 1 health.
if please, I appreciate your help, but I need to clean up my shop. So if that is all, Diera, I'll send a good word to your advisor about all of this.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I look at Grom, and I look back at Edwin. When he threw out all those coins, could I have grabbed one?
Of the Featherfall tokens?
Yeah.
I mean, he just sort of handed them, and Edwin grabbed them. So if you want to contest with
And I
Edwin, or
mean,
you can,
you were over by the robot.
That's fine.
yeah.
I got
You
things.
But you saw clearly Edwin grab like 10 tokens out of this
Right.
dude's hand.
Like, okay, we'll be on our way. Thank you, Corsair, for the address.
You got nothing from
You're cutting. You're out. You're out.
you've gotten nothing from me and nothing from you, right?
I don't even
I
know
just
who
won't.
you are. Now
Good,
I need
good,
healing potions.
Good. And he ushers you guys out of the door and shuts it. And it doesn't make a satisfying door shut sound because it's just a piece of luon, so it just goes.
I don't even know. I don't even know
That's
what that
called
sound
world
actually
building.
is.
We're moving on. We're moving on. Hey, Edwin,
No.
do you mind handing each one of us a Featherfall token?
No.
I think that seems pretty fair.
I will give one to Grom. One to Sam, and one to Rick.
Thank you.
I'll just be offended. Oh, okay.
You gotta
I see
look
how it
before you
is.
leap, owl guy.
What was that?
Said you gotta look before you leap.
Oh, well, I can cast Featherfall, so I was just making sure you guys got some. That's
Why did you
uh-huh.
want a token?
Why would you want one then if you could cast it?
Oh, to give it to Grom. He's been through a lot. He seems
To
to,
be-
take the majority of the blows.
To give it to Grom.
I can't feel my arm.
I point to the
I became a
holes.
road pancake.
Oh, I did. Yeah, well, you're fine. You have
However,
us-
Grom, we have received restitution that should make you whole.
Do not play the harmonica.
Edwin, where are you planning on getting healing potions?
I don't know. How much money do we have? How much money did we get, Sam?
I poke my head in the bag.
Poke your head into the bag,
Why
and
is it so wet?
What?
And inside are about 20 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
PogChamp. Oh, all right. Looks like we got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I shuffle
Really?
some around 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 platinum pieces.
Ah, nice. That is actually a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
So we should get stocked. Like,
I feel
Like
like,
a-
this is
professionally.
proper restitution. I feel whole again.
Grom doesn't.
I'm his arm is like limp, like one of his arms is just sort of like, and it's still dripping blood slowly.
I immediately pull 2 platinum out and hand it to Grom. This should make us even.
He takes 2 of the plat. Why don't we just split it evenly?
That's true.
I take the 2 platinum back. All right.
Well, wait. It just has Jerom's trying to do math. He's like woozy. He is like coated in blood. And Edwin, you too are like burned all across your face. You're missing a section of your beard. Sort of like half of it is like burnt away currently. You're not looking too great.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So, are you gonna split it up, Sam?
Yeah, I split it up. Everyone here gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20.
I'm just holding up 4.
4 platinum. Okay, 4 platinum.
Right. So you hand 4 platinum to everybody.
1, 2, 3. Shuffle some around. 4, 5.
Stout and stew.
Right. Where glancing around, there's gotta be potions somewhere in
I
this
need healing.
place.
Bad.
Well, there's always a man at the front desk.
I am irate right now at Diero. I'm just gonna Grob, let's go find like the hospital or something.
Okay.
The school nurse.
So go ahead and make an investigation check, Edwin, as you sort of start to meander down. Do you guys follow after them, or do you guys go somewhere else?
I'm gonna.
I'd follow.
Guys, I don't know where anything is. I'm
gonna say,
disheveled. I'm burned.
while walking up the school, did we see like any arrows or anything pointing around? Since Sam and I have been like walking around a lot.
You would have seen there are some like navigational signs around throughout the school. And inside the main hall by the administration desk, there was a big plaque that had some details about like sort of a map and like you are here and where are those things.
Well, I'll relay that back to the group, and I'll say, oh well, like since Edwin hates me and all, hey Grom, I can show you where the hospital or the nursery is here if you want to feel better.
Yeah, let's. Where
You have no idea that I'm
The nursery.
above
You
pissed
mean
at
the
you.
infirmary?
There we go. Big words. I glare at Edwin as Grom and I walk away.
You have no idea how mad I am.
Roll an insight check.
Me?
Yeah. Make a constitution check, Edwin.
Is that just a saving throw?
Just straight constitution.
Oh, there it
Click
is.
the word constitution.
You have no idea.
Yeah. He just seems kind of just angry
Burnt.
in general. He was just burnt heavily.
Doesn't get Featherfall token from him.
Yeah, you can interpret that as you will.
Okay.
But you can interpret he's
I
grumpy.
mean,
but
seeing as the fact that you have one and you have Featherfall.
yeah, you can interpret that he's probs grumpy at you, but you aren't quite sure just how grumpy. But yeah.
Waddling away.
As you guys make your way back down towards at the base of the stairway, you see this large sign. There's currently a couple of students there that are like looking and like, oh, where's room 8C?
Where's the infirmary?
Oh God! It's one of the. Are you all right?
No.
Yeah, are you okay?
What type of question is that? Look at me and look at my friend. One's got a hole in his chest, and I'm burnt to a crisp.
Oh well, geez, here. One of the I forget what race House Jarosco is.
I love
Halfling.
Sauce?
I love that.
Halfling.
Are you all right? Do I look okay to you?
The halfling, one of the two students there. Oh well, geez. Goes out and you see a mark currently that's like a circle across their hand that like spirals outward and swirls around up their arm, and it cracks across as they sort of reach a hand out. And don't worry, and touches your the side of your like knee, and you feel just like suddenly a burst of healing energy come up your thigh.
No.
Oh well, that was actually very not intentional. Halflings are just short, okay?
I mean,
short.
I'm exceptionally
Plus-
tall, but geez, where are you at, buddy? I mean,
They're just short.
I know it's November, but you gotta work on it, Chief.
I'm done. So you heal 13 points, Edwin. And then it's like, you are just so. And she can you to Grom's? Can you bet? Grom, yeah. Leans down and she grabs
I'm
a hold
just
of Grom's shoulder.
Ragdolls next to him.
And he heals up 12 points as the gaping wounds in the shoulder close up. Yeah, what sort of lesson plan are you guys on?
Beware learning. This is what happened to you.
Oh yeah.
It was just a lab.
This
No,
was his
class.
first day, and I pointed Owl Guy.
What?
thumbs up.
The two like glance back and forth. Do you guys know where?
I have no idea where I am.
Okay,
Oh, what are you looking for?
we were looking for Hall 8C.
Do
Well,
I
if
see?
that's
Do I see it
anything
on the map?
close to-
Make an investigation check.
God damn it. I'm just gonna
all in
point.
it's all in gibberish.
I think it's
if-
there.
I look at Edwin and just kind of look back at the map, and I'll say, well, if it's anywhere close to 37C, that's on the 3rd floor. So maybe 8C's on the 1st floor, or
Oh, okay.
Could be
Um,
on the 8th floor too.
But I appreciate you healing, me somewhat. The burning is not as great anymore as my entire
Hey.
body's just singed. Where's the infirmary? I need to fix the rest of this.
Oh well, I don't know where the infirmary is in the school, but if there's a House Jarosco unit that's a few levels, a little ways down this level.
I'm gonna
It's
be
actually
honest.
sort of-
I don't think I can walk that far in my current state.
You should be all right.
Burns are a hell of a thing to move around with. They're like scabs that constantly crack open whenever you move.
Yeah, no, it's certainly not fun. I will say with the little bit of healing, it's the scabs have become a bit more
Crusty.
substantial. Yeah, so they
So that
aren't
means
like
they crack
constantly
more?
Well, no, they've
You
become a
sick
bit more.
bastard.
No, they've become a bit more like healed up, more plastic in their movement.
Okay, that's like, you bastard.
crunchy.
You made me more
No.
crunchy. That's
Not extra crunchy. Not like a fresh Cheez-It, like a Cheez-It that's been left out for a few days.
I
He just
honestly
called you stale.
I honestly
I
have
know
no
exactly.
idea what that even. I don't know how to handle
I know
that.
exactly what that means.
Yep.
You know exactly what a stale Cheez-It is like.
No,
You should. You're an American.
I mean, I just eat my Cheez-Its and then I box them back up appropriately.
Incorrect.
Impossible.
False.
Okay, I'm wrong.
False.
So, right, okay. We're just gonna. You should.
Where's
you should
the
really...
front desk?
You guys are literally like, you turn around and Amanda is like just closing up her book, and you see there's another person at the front desk now with them. It's a human male. That's
Hello,
sort of just-
Amanda.
Well, hi there. What on earth
I-
happened to you?
Am crispy.
Yeah,
Crunchy almost.
your conversation with Korzu not go.
I don't know what you're talking about, but do you know where the infirmary is?
Yeah, it's just if you take the stairs down, and
Is
points
there an
to
elevator?
Yeah, it's where she points again. There's a glyph on the ground, that is sort of just like faintly glowing. That is like a circle. And you see that a few people stand on it and float upwards. And there's another glyph next to it, and people stand on it, and it like circles and opens like an iris, and they float down.
Ah, so is it up or down?
Well, you just came from up. So it is in fact down.
How many floors? Where do we go?
Well, it's 3 floors down in the basement sublevel, and it is that whole floor.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna walk straight to the down elevator.
Okay. Grom follows. The rest of you guys follow as well.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Might as well.
So as you guys head to the elevator, you watch as it closes and the iris shuts. And you're just like, okay. Take a step forward, and just sort of suddenly feel light. And as you get the sensation, the iris below you opens, and your feet don't fall. Instead, you can sort of see down, and you're like, oh. And you like will yourself downward, and it's just a thought of going down that makes you descend.
Interesting.
Few people pass in like a sort of tunnel area. It's not even like a solid. You only notice it because the light that shines through, like the dust in the air, you see is displaced in a circle around this column where you can ascend and descend. But as you descend through this large open level below, it appears to be an entire library that is, books all up along the walls, and various other columns and pillars of books and what have you. But descending down another level until you reach the 3rd level down, you find yourself in a very well lit, lower. The ceiling in this room is not as high, maybe only 20 feet tall. And this section of the tower is, again, fairly open, but is curtained off in several places by various white movable walls. You hear just the sound of like various like spells going off, sort of more soothing ones. And the sound of tile floors and fast walking as the nurses and other various members of the research that's going on here, in a medical sense, are moving around. As you land in the center, there are a couple of people standing there. All right, are you fucking? What? Are you fucking? I need to turn my.
Rude.
Yeah, hella rude, Jesus.
Who the fuck are you? No. Are you interested?
No.
Gee, okay.
Where's the burn ward?
Well, are you a student? Are you here to partake in some healing? I presume the latter.
Healing caused by a student.
Right. Okay. I'll need you to sign this, as she sort of like is taking you off in a direction, and hands you a document.
What is on the document? I'm not just gonna sign it.
Did you take a look at it?
I'm in a hospital.
It appears to be a
kidneys.
waiver of relief of release of service. It's make an investigation.
Oh, I'm really freaking great at those. Oh.
So it appears that this document details that you are willing to submit yourself to healing to student healing, essentially. Is the idea that you are receiving
at no cost to me?
You are receiving free healing at the chance of the healing going horribly wrong, and it lists a long
signed
list. It lists a long list of potential. Okay, and you
signed it.
Right. As you sign it, Grom also is signing it as well. As you make your way, and you're both led into separate tents. The 3 of you, they lead them away from you, and the 3 of you are left in this central area. There are some hospital seats that are set up. They're like, nice birchwood, sort of a light color seat that has sort of a decent cushion on it. That's been wrapped in a non-porous fabric.
You wait patiently. And my wood.
As you sit on these chairs, did you know that I've been researching chairs a lot recently? As you sit there and wait, you see the various elements of people making their way through. A dragonborn person in a white lab coat comes through, talking with. Yes, and I do believe that there's a case to be made for the use of demonic. As he's turning around the corner and you can no longer catch what he's saying. Edwin.
Yep.
You're brought into a tent. And sitting there before you is a very critical orcish man in a white like gown sort of robe thing. And also a rather young looking tiefling male who sort of has jet black skin and what's his name? Darth Maul horns. All right, so you need what? Well, I mean, it is clear you got burns on your. Where are all the burns here? Can you take off some of your armor?
Well, I'm not wearing armor.
Well,
Trip. Bitch.
Whoa! Daniel just failed as a DM again.
Worst DM ever.
Sorry, I assume everyone wears armor. There's two people in this party that don't wear armor.
I can't wear armor.
Not even wearing armor, is he?
I'm a wizard.
Yeah, you got two people not wearing armor. And here I am, just stereotyping everybody, saying,
Wow, dude.
Adventurers wear armor, right?
Nope, that's why I die easily.
Yeah.
Really sucks.
Right. Well, I am Arkless, and I will be today. Do you have any pre-existing medical conditions? As he sort of is now pulling back of the various
you or
elements.
one of your loved ones been diagnosed with mesothelioma.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Sorry. I'm crazy.
And forgive me if I'm assuming. Are you a shifter?
By the looks of it, yeah, you'd be right.
I don't want to assume. But yeah, let me take a look. And taking a look. Okay, this should tingle a little bit, but you should feel better much quicker. Much quicker.
Much quicker.
Much quicker. As he goes ahead and attempts to cast a new spell.
Oh Jesus.
You heal 15 points.
I am full.
And your hair grows drastically.
Son of a bitch.
Like you don't grow extra hair where there wasn't hair before, like the like top half of your face where you didn't have hair is not, but your beard is now a good 4 inches longer, and your hair grows another like 10 inches in the back.
Just in the back, so you now have a mullet.
That can happen sometimes. Still, the orcish man is like shaking his head back and forth and like drawing some notes on his clipboard. I'm still working on that part. Sorry.
Do you have
about
scissors, or is a barber?
Yeah. We can. And he sort of has a pair of scissors. I could trim it back, sort of where it.
Touch my hair. I will do it.
All right. Hand you the scissors.
And then is there a mirror around?
Yeah, there's a mirror around.
All right. I'm gonna try to cut my hair. I don't know how to do this in Dungeons and Dragons. I can tell you in over a decade of playing. In over a decade of playing the game, I've never had to once think about cutting my own hair.
Make
A good
a dexterity check. Just straight dex.
Oh boy.
Fairly to what you intended. You cut your hair, and you're pretty satisfied with it. Back to roughly where it was.
I
Or
appreciate-
if you wanted a different look, you could do that.
I appreciate the healing. You could work on the hair growth, but the overall goal
Right.
worked.
No, it's a new spell. I'm just trying to figure it out.
All right. Okay, bye.
I appreciate it. Here, you need to any hand small stack of paperwork. You need to sign this out if you don't want to pay anything.
Do I have to reread that document with another investigation roll, or
No, you just have to spend the next hour or so filling out these forms.
how much? How
There's
much
like
is
a
it?
small stack of paper.
No,
It's
but like how
20
much?
sheets.
How much is it to get healed?
Oh, to get healed. If you just want to pay that for what I just did to you, let me just.
With a discount for the hair growth.
Roll a persuasion check.
Fuck.
That's a performance check.
Performance is still. Oh, it's still charisma.
No, there's
They're both charisma.
Oh,
I guess
well,
if you want,
well, if
the
you're not-
persuasion is proficient. So
Which makes a difference. Yeah, and I always do it if you roll the way I always do it is if you roll the wrong button, you roll the right button, and we count with the right button. Even if it is technically the same modifier, I always have you, just so it's like standard and
That's
never
fine.
question it. But with considering that, I mean, it cost 50 gold. But considering what I did, I could put in 5 gold of my own money and pay for the rest of it. If you paid the 45, I pay 50. I can put in my day's worth of work.
all right, document time.
As you come out of the tent with the document, you hear a "Oh!" It's from the tent next door.
Can I peek in?
You sort of peek in.
Grom, you doing all right?
Pulling out as he just is like you look out and Grom is bald,
Grom.
like full egghead, no beard, no hair,
Gr-
totally bald.
Grom, where'd your beard? Where'd your magnificent dwarven beard go, Grom?
I don't know.
Wow, we had complete opposites. I had too much hair growth. I had to cut mine off.
I shouldn't have signed the form. How am I going to explain this to my family?
I don't know. Is it temporary, or are you just an egghead now?
Left of your family.
I don't know.
Damn, Sam.
You're not there. As Grom returns, the rest of
Is the doctor or whatever there?
the doctor is currently in the tent. Grom is just
Is
sort
it-
of like
Is it permanent?
Yeah.
Give it to me straight, Doc.
turning around. There is just a human male who has who is also bald, and just like, well, as far as I can tell, it lasts a little while, but my hair is starting to grow back. As he sort of like indicates to his head, and it's like there's some hair coming back.
Ah.
It looks like he might have already been balding.
Well, Grom, you're now an egghead.
Oh, I don't think that. Oh.
It's all right, buddy, and I'll just rub the top of his head.
Oh.
It's okay, buddy.
Rub me
We'll
in.
make it through.
So as the two of you go back to sit in the birchwood and nice.
Okay, we don't need
Yeah,
the
nice
descriptions of the
chair.
chairs to this level of detail.
Nope. Every time, every single chair.
Otherwise, I'm asking
No.
for postal codes for everywhere we go.
Yeah, no, well, that's why do you think I'm giving you description chairs? So as you sit down, and you guys begin to fill out paperwork, will the rest of you guys just gonna hang out for the next hour?
Yeah, probably take a nap. Just
Pretty much.
chill.
Rest
Cool.
up.
You guys could take a short rest as you guys are sitting and doing paperwork in the middle of
Nice.
the hospital there.
Nice. Wow, what a balance.
Both ends of the spectrum for a perfect average.
Yeah, I'm also gonna do some.
Yeah. But as you guys heal up, paperwork filled, filed, and completed, Grom filling out a very negative review of every aspect of the healing service. Handing stuff back. You guys, they take the paper. Right, thank you. And sorry for any sort of inconsistencies in your healing. I assure you most of the time the effects are temporary. If you find they last more than 2 weeks, please do come back.
No, that's all right. I just had some exceptional hair growth, unlike Egghead over here. Just rub Grom's
Yeah.
head again.
For some reason, the pores and the hair is really susceptible to magic.
Isn't that right, Eggy?
Okay, now I'm kind of mad about it.
Oh, it's all in good fun.
Sure. So as you begin to, I forgot it. University. As you make your way back out, where are you guys going? What you guys doing?
Well, I have an address. I kind of share with Sam.
What time of day is it?
At this point, let's see. You got chucked off the building in the midday, and then you found the person. I would say you're approaching and it's end of workday thereabouts. So 6 o'clock, 5 or 6.
End of work.
No,
day.
another hour. But
All right.
So you're talking like 7, 8.
I gotta find a tailor. And then I want to possibly go talk to Metrics to Kenneth.
Well, shouldn't we maybe chase after this lead we have? We don't know if what's his face. If we don't know if Lord Dungarin, he already is on edge, and we've got given him a fair amount of time. Maybe
I mean, if
should make our
we've
way
given him
there.
we've given him a fair amount of time, anyways. So if he's already acted, he would have done it already.
I mean,
That kind
you
of
can't do
logic.
that unless we go.
It seems pretty flawed. It's like saying, if you give somebody one gun, you might as well give them.
I agree with Grom. I mean, to be fair, I feel like we should act some haste on this lead.
All right,
If we
that's
see, like,
fine.
if we see I don't know.
No. We'll go.
I'm sorry we can't get your pants hemmed.
No.
But we're about
No,
to track
no,
down
let's
this
go.
man who had murdered some people.
So,
Taxi!
you make your way out. Witcha! The whip crack of Sam's arcane flash cracks into the air, and flying down comes one of the flying taxis in this current district. It is one of the sky coaches with the flaming wreathed bottom and the sort of invisible sphered tops. Pulled by 2 Pegasi. As the individual.
Pegasi.
Yeah, this is a plural of Pegasus.
I'm just
Pegasus.
Pegasus.
Stop.
Pegasi is the plural of Pegasus. It's not Pegasuses. Pega people.
Stop it.
Oh.
Stop it. God bless. You need help.
Oh boy.
Oh,
So how did your D&D show get canceled? Well,
I was
anyway,
about to say.
as you guys hop on board and give the address
564 Cobbled Scale Way. The stores. Dura. 14556.
I know where that is. As you guys begin to fly off through the air, making your way as I go to the map. The map. So you're currently in the top of this district. I just have moved down to the lower aspects of it. As you descend a few levels, you go out into the central way, drifting through the various bridges. As you fly your way down, he takes the descent rather quickly. As you spiral your way down, Grom sort of holding the edge of the seat very carefully, so as not to fall out. As you begin to make your way down, curving around the Forge Light Towers and across that cobbled stone bridge, wherein you had that other, gosh. Sorry,
You good, buddy?
Really weird... No, I just am having a conniption. Having a little bit of a conniption. And landing your way down through the sort of lower buildings, the flaming cart, actually the Pegasi landing on the ground and making their way through the last bit to get you to Cobbled Scale Lane. As the cart stops, the driver nods, pulls out his notebook, and begins to mark down the travel. As you step out, you're a little ways from your home, Sam, but this is a very familiar district to you. This is actually where your this is where one of your postings is when you're not working on dock duty. This is where your other one is. You sit in front of a bank and guard it. Not too far from here.
Wait, so if this is where you're supposed to be, normally, wouldn't you know of a Lord Dungaren just by being around here? Sam?
I mean, I don't know everyone that lives here. No.
So you land in. Where the fuck do you land?
Well, hopefully we
564.
land in 564 Cobbled Scale Way. The stores there are 14556. Hopefully.
As you land in the stores, that's similar. Let me switch to music. That's why I was confused, because it's no longer this music, nor is it this music. It is instead this music. Just the city backer. Yeah. As the familiar sights and smells of a lower district. No. Begins to come across you all. Various warehouses of different sizes mark the base of this district, as the base of these towers are just large, open construction like rooms. It's very industrialized. The roads here are fairly wide and relatively maintained for other areas of Dura, just because they receive a lot of traffic, and so they put a lot of effort into maintaining them just because of the weight constantly breaking across the cobbles. As you turn and make your way down the scaled lane, they dropped you off sort of at the head of it and start to make your way towards 654. Sort of a little ways away. Is there's anything you'd like to do or prepare as you're walking up towards this element of the district? It's fairly quiet. It's after the main workday, so the only people you see are the occasional passing guard and a few, workers that are just making their way through at the end of the workday. Pulling a cart, carrying their goods back home, or just an occasional person. There's occasional person just sitting on the sidewalk, just sort of like staring up at you, vagrants and the like.
I'm just chilling.
Okay, so you guys walk up towards, make your way towards this make your way towards the address. The building on the outside, little broken down, and a lot of broken down. The windows are boarded up, and the tower that arches up way above you is sort of like largely blocked by various bridges that pass overhead. A fair few that come in and out of what used to be apparently a mecca of construction. You sort of find yourself in a open alleyway area that has you see a sewage pipe that's just sort of pumping out sewage water that brackish and brown, looks industrial rather than like raw whatever it's called, brown water. The main door to this place is also boarded up. It definitely seems like an abandoned building.
Weird. So this building that a lord supposedly is in is broken and in a very low part of the city and boarded up. Interesting.
I don't trust it.
Weird.
I've thought
Like everything else about him is fake. Why would where he actually delivered something be real?
that is how it normally goes.
It would have been nice to mention this earlier.
I was interested to see why everyone was dead set to go to a place about a guy who we have no idea who he actually is.
Well, you see, he did attack us, and the city guard over there can't exactly let that go by.
Yep.
And I can't let cults just go around.
Well, I guess let's investigate.
I mean,
Let's investigate the abandoned building.
You gotta share what you're thinking, Edwin.
No. Let's investigate the abandoned building of the mysterious lord.
I'm gonna whisper to Grom and whoever else is around me, just be like, I think it's a trap.
Do I hear that?
Like, don't try and hide it.
Yeah, then you.
I think it's a trap.
What gave that away? Is it because he's already tried to kill us?
Well, I mean, we were kind of coming down here, maybe kill him, so it always seems fair.
Grom, I appreciate your honesty.
Grom does have a point.
Seems like he threw the first blow, so I don't care for his ilk.
All right, city guard, lead the way. I'm not breaking into a building in front of a city guard.
Okay. Well then, I walk up to the door.
Okay, the door is there. It is boarded over, and there's a chain kind of in front of it that has a large padlock on it.
I knock.
Doom, doom, boom, boom, doom. Just
It's got a
echoes.
beat to it. Oh,
Sorry, yeah, I forgot. I got. Look, I'm a DM, not a music box.
not a DJ.
Oh my god. Yeah. So you go ahead, knock. It resonates and echoes outward. Minute passes. No response.
No one's home.
All right.
Is there any small opening where Franklin can fly in?
Glancing up and looking around, make a perception check.
Me or I guess yeah.
You, or it could be Franklin could make it too, but
I think. Wait 1 second. Perception. I can add a D4 because of.
yep. Let's go ahead and roll a d4 to add it to that 5 there.
I'm really trying my best.
Glancing up, is 7. Yeah, you are actually able to see that there are several very obvious holes in this building. You only needed like a 6, so
You never know. I mean, barely. See. All right.
yeah.
All right, Franklin. You might as well just take a little peek in there.
That would just be so funny if he had actually failed the roll and we're all sitting there and he's like, "Oh, this is Fort Knox." It's like,
Dude, there's straight up
there's
like,
holes everywhere.
gaping holes in the wall. So as Franklin flies up, and I make the flying sound, even though it's an owl, you can't hear them flies
Yeah.
into the room. But because we're an audio format for our viewers, I can't like mime this movement of flying. But anyway,
I mean, we could put cameras, but you know,
that's
a conversation we could have off stream.
yeah. So slapping that bass, Franklin slides into them DMs, and by DMs I mean this abandoned building.
Amazing.
Have Franklin make a
Struggling.
perception check with advantage because he's an owl.
You got this, Franklin. Use that
He's a-
perception.
He's a good boy. So Franklin flying in, silently, whoo, dives off into the room. You're looking through his eyes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as Diero sort of like goes, and his eyes go white for a moment, inside this building, there are long sort of factory table conveyor belt like setup. There's not a real conveyor belt, but there's long tables that appear to have like stages of a construction process for what looks to be like carts. It looks like this used to be a manufacturing building for like rolling carts, like you would sell, cabbage or cloth from. And there are currently some pieces that are half made. Looks like it was abandoned mid construction process. There's not like bodies on the floor or anything. That's pretty apparent. But you do see, as the owl lands on one of the larger carts, that there is some distinct sign of either squatting or there's some sort of like tarps set up in the middle, where you see a little bit of very faint glowing, like sort of like a greenish light coming from it.
I'll be relaying this back to the group as I telepathically tell Franklin to kind of approach it, but cautiously.
Okay.
It's a little sus.
It flies forward and approaching and sort of lands closer now. Taking a better look, you can see inside. It's about 4 figures that are currently like 2 are very small, two I would say are small creatures, 2 I would say are medium creatures. They're humanoid in shape, hooded, and they're all sort of standing over a small pot that's bubbling over like a weird green flame.
Green flame.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Bubbling over a small green flame. They're currently muttering back and forth to each other.
What language?
What languages do you speak?
Owl. Common, Elven, and Dwarven.
You don't recognize the language, although make a... Oh.
How about now?
So as glancing through, you take a moment, cast the spell. You guys watch as Diero's eyes gloss over from being white to just being normal again, and he casts a spell. Eyes go back white, and now you do hear them speaking. They're speaking Fey. We were supposed to get that shipment in the... This is sort of scratching his arm. You're supposed to get that shipment of dragon's dust. I don't know what's taking them so long. Just wait for this one to cook, and then we'll be okay. Then she'll speak to us again. Yes, silence, sister. You must not worry so much. I don't know. I just need some... Dungaren said he would have sent more down by now. As they continue to argue back and forth quietly. Have your owl roll a stealth check. They don't appear to notice as they continue to speak.
Good job, Franklin. You're gonna get plenty of treats.
I would not worry about Dungaren anymore. I heard he was found out. What? But no, it wasn't. He was just a mouth. It wasn't even. That's impossible. Does that mean that somebody made it out? Yes, somebody made it out. I don't know who. They had just summoned a new beast too. Lord Belashir grants such kind wishes. Well, she could grant some more wishes to us. I was sitting over here over a pot of cold dragon's dust. Not even warm enough to make a dragon's blood. Sort of the pot now is just sort of like smoldering and smoking as if it's sort of like when you're burning sugar. An acrid scent sort of starts to come across. Yeah, there it goes, finally making it. Yeah, well, it couldn't take us so long enough. And sort of you see them all now start to reach into the pot and start to grab like just handfuls of like that you can almost smell burning flesh as they're grabbing hold of it and just sort of like shoving it into their mouths hot from the pot.
As they're doing that, I'm just gonna kind of say to Sam or like ask him, "Hey, is dragon dust illegal in the city?"
Yes.
Very much so. That's like dragon dust is the like
Pretty
crack
bad.
cocaine of Eberron.
Are you like new around here?
Yes, actually. But anyways, there's like four cultists. I don't want to assume, but they seem pretty culty. They keep mentioning Lord Belashir.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
I can't imagine Belashir's any good. I'll give you a quick history lesson later. But anyways, they're cooking up dragon's dust, and they said that this is the Ranger Rick and Edwin too. That Lord Garen's he's done with because he's been found out. But you know, like, should we do anything about this? It seems kind of suspicious. You're the city guard. I'm just a student.
I have no problem with these people and what they're doing.
Well, it seems that they might have some information about this Dungaren and whatever these high people are doing, but I mean, do they look tough? Do you think we can take them?
Do they look tough?
Make an insight check.
What is toughness?
What is tough?
Insight. Wow.
They look like they've seen better days. They look scrappy, but they definitely do not seem particularly hardy and hale.
I don't think they're gonna fight nicely, but they don't look tough.
I still am not going to open up that door. Now, if the city guard opens the door, then I'll go in.
That's why I'm directing the questions towards him. I'm with the same boat as Edwin.
Well, did Grom glancing over, if we know there's an illegal activity happening behind closed doors, are we within our rights to stop it?
You said you saw the dragon dust?
Yeah, they just finished cooking it, actually.
Oh,
We
cool.
can catch him in the act.
Yeah, that's in plain sight. All right, cool.
Do you barge it open?
Sam takes a step
The
forward.
city guard is going to use thieves' tools to enter in a property.
Pulling out. Where do you keep your thieves' tool, Sam?
It's on my utility
In his
belt.
prison pocket.
On his belt, he just sort of like pulls out three. In a pocket you guys didn't even notice was there, just like sewn into the side of the belt. 3 tools pop out, and easily the simple padlock slides open and the chain falls out onto the ground, making a slight rattling sound, but nothing too crazy. You open the door.
Oh yeah, I mean,
As the door opens, it does make a very obnoxiously just as it scrapes along its hinges that have been long rusted shut. As you glance into the room, you see these 2 long conveyor belt like tables and sort of the weird half misshapen tent that lies there. And as the green flame silhouettes these 4 individuals, who are you people? You've come in the wrong place.
Oh, hi, I'm the arrow.
I'll pull out my crossbow. And I'll just be like, all right, let me see him. Your hands that are, by the way, your hands.
You heard him, boys. Let him see him. Let him see your hands.
Yeah.
They all start to cackle a little bit. As they all sort of like shift faintly, and in the darkness they vanish. And you hear their but you still continue to hear their cackling. As one of them just sort of like stands, holds a hand upward, and darkness spreads out throughout the chamber. And as that happens and combat starts, we're gonna end tonight's session.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun! Cliffhanger.
We all
What will
die.
happen? Oh my gosh! It's cray cray.
Some
I've
tweakers are about to
accomplished
get
my
shot.
first assignment.
Some tweakers about to get shot. God damn, Luke. Where's your chill?
Is
All right,
Chris
boys.
back?
I've
Okay,
been
okay.
here.
Okay,
what-
you didn't announce yourself when you returned, so I was like,
I literally said that I said that I wasn't going to enter until Sam did it. I was the one who was the proponent of that.
oh wait, yeah, no, I'm dumb. It's your boy.
All right, I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, see.
All right, and that's going to end it for us here. Bop. And we will see you guys all later. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please leave a like if you did, subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. I'm live on Twitch Monday through Thursday, 7:30 p.m. CST and 10:30 a.m. CST on Saturdays. Link right here. Follow my socials for updates, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.